options when you're looking to buy your next new Ferrari. However, in my personal opinion, the Ferrari F12 is the best buy on the market today. So the Ferrari F12 has a bunch of unique little features that I truly like. I really enjoyed the 599. When the 599 first came out, I really loved the body design. I thought it was just gorgeous. Some people find them to be too big and clunky, which is why I really like the F12, because they actually made it still looks big, but it's slightly shorter and slightly lighter than the 599. The body design, while they look semi-similar, it has some really cool features. It has this air bridge going right along the side here, where it's actually a hole through the car. It looks cool, but it's also super functional. What it does is the air goes through the car here and down and creates massive downforce. So when you're using the 730 horsepower in this car, it keeps you sucked down to the ground and you feel like you're just glued to the ground, flying at 100 whatever miles an hour. It's pretty awesome. The front of the car, it has this mean look to it. You know, it has a low stance, the swooping nose, the low stance, and the kind of like aggressive front look to the car, which I've always really liked in these front engine V12 Ferraris. So while everything on this car is made to look really cool, because it's Ferrari, so it has to look badass, it's also designed to be extremely aerodynamic. So they take every little thing into consideration. It's not just the body shape, they also have to worry about functionality. So when you're driving super fast and you're braking really hard, your brakes get too hot. So it has this really cool little feature that I like, where these flaps right here open up to help cool down the ceramic brakes. And then once they're cooled down, they close back up to make sure that you stay aerodynamic. Ferraris are notoriously really low to the ground, making scraping a very common issue and speed bumps become your worst enemy. But one of the cool things I like about this car is the front end. It has a button that will actually raise and lower the car, so it can get you out of those sticky situations when it comes to speed bumps and really steep driveways. So at the back of the car, there's a couple interesting features that I like. First one, kind of a little quirk, but there's the fog light, which in the US, you don't really have fog lights, but in Europe, it's mandatory. So they threw it in on all F12s. What I really like about it is it's the same light that's used on Formula One cars. So it meshes the two worlds of street cars and race cars together, because Enzo cared a lot more about his race cars than he ever did street cars. So it kind of follows with the, Enzo's real Ferrari dream, bringing the street car, the race car together, and the real Ferrari feeling. Now going from race car quirks to what makes it a really functional car is the trunk, unlike most Ferraris, has massive amount of space. So here's the trunk. As you can see, there's lots of space. Like I said, you can fit a body and a half in here easily, which in most cars, you're lucky if you get like half a body. So it's a big improvement on all the past models. Most Ferraris, you get like this little trunk that you're lucky if you can fit an overnight bag in it, if that. Whereas this car, you can throw your bag, your wife's bag, your friend's bag, whatever works, and get it in there and go off on your road trip, your day trip, whatever you feel like doing, which is pretty awesome. It makes it really user-friendly, and I hope they carry it on throughout the rest of the modern Ferraris. There's a lot of things I really like about this car. I mean, I first fell in love with the 599, but somehow this one is more comfortable. It's one of those cars that has a dual personality, where right now we're in it, we're going to get coffee, just a nice Sunday morning drive, but you could drive it every day if you wanted to. It's a real daily driver. But on the flip side, if you want to pretend you're Mario Andretti, you really can. It has enough power to really get yourself in some trouble real quick. One of the features that I really like is how everything is kind of centralized around the driver's seat and the steering wheel. So you got all the controls on the steering wheel and everything kind of on this side. You're not reaching to the middle to find your radio or anything like that. It's right here. It does get a little confusing because it's not standard. You're used to like your blinkers right here, and instead they're on your steering wheel. I mean, everything is on your steering wheel. Your paddle shifts are on the back, and everything else is just right here. Your horn is not in the center, you know, that does nothing. It's right here on each side, which is a unique little feature. And I mean, not first thing I'd go to if somebody pulls in front of me. I'm so used to going like this, but you know, it takes a little getting used to, but once you've driven for a while and you get the hang of it, it's nice to have everything just right where you need it. So like I keep saying, one of the reasons I love this car is it does everything. It can be, you know, go get your coffee on a Sunday morning and go for a cruise down by the beach, or, you know, race a new Tesla Model S. Whatever you want to do, it can do it. And it does it comfortably, it does it easily, it does it without thinking. It's something you can daily drive, which I've never really been able to say about a Ferrari until now. And I don't mean just you can drive it daily, because you can drive pretty much anything daily, but you can comfortably drive it. You can, you know, happily get in it and not have to mess with things, not have to think about stuff. It's, you know, the seat's nice. It's low to the ground, but it's not so low that you're climbing in and climbing out all the time. It makes things easy, and it makes it enjoyable, besides just the visceral sounds and, you know, kind of what you usually get out of a car. It's just the ease of it gives it that extra, I want to get in and just go for a ride because I can, because I don't have to think about it. It's nice. Another feature of the car that I find appealing is it's not super flashy. This one being red is a bit more in your face. It's that Ferrari red kind of look at me color. But if it was, say, a dark gray or a black or something a little more subtle, you can drive it down the road and people really wouldn't know you're driving a Ferrari unless they take a real second look. Which some people, I mean, you know, if you really want that look at me kind of feeling, you go for one of the more sporty models. With this one, it's you get the experience. It's not about everyone else. It's about you getting to drive it. It's for you, which I've always liked. The Grand Touring models, the bigger, more luxurious models, have always been my favorite because it feels more personal to me. So as with any Ferrari, it's dripping in luxury with Italian leather and other options that just make it, you know, give it that extra oomph. But it's the little touches that really matter. The interior of this car has the red stitching to match the red exterior. And then right here, one of the features that I find really interesting is another way Ferrari found to tie in its racing days with its street cars. So this is the pit speed. It's basically if you were supposed to be on a racetrack and you're leaving the pit lane, you're only supposed to go a certain speed. So you can set, you know, 30 miles an hour or whatever speed you need to go, which I guess technically it's a glorified cruise control button, but it ties in the Ferrari racing with the Ferrari street cars to make you feel more, you know, like you're in a race car. For how much I love this car, there's a couple drawbacks that I'm not too fond of. It doesn't take away too much from the car. I'm still a huge fan, but the fact that it gets worse gas mileage than my Tahoe is not my favorite point. My Tahoe gets about 16 to 22 miles a gallon. This thing gets about 12 to 16. So on your best day, it's a horrible gas guzzler. So now it's time to talk about the price. New, this car was a cool 400 grand, and that really depends on options too. It starts at 370. You're not gonna get out the door for 370. You're gonna spend at least 400,000 on this car. And then if you want it really cool, if you want some extra carbon fiber, maybe, you know, some options to make you different than everyone else, you want a backup camera, you want this or that, you're talking some really big money. You're gonna end up 425, maybe 450. Now, due to the miracle of depreciation, 5 years later, it has an asking price of $250,000, which seemingly comparable to when it was new is really affordable. Now, a lot of people might think, I got $250,000, I might want to spend it on a house, but your house doesn't have 730 horsepower and goes 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds. If you guys like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel because we have a bunch of cool content coming out in the near future. Next video we have up, we're going to talk race cars. There's my dad's 308 rebodied as a 288 GTO. Plus we have a Lamborghini that won the 2009 Macau Grand Prix. And we're going to go ahead on the racetrack, hop in a couple race cars and give you a driver's point of view. 3, 2, 1.
Lucy.
Seriously, really low to the ground, making so it can get you out of those sticky situations. So so you can go over speed bumps easier. Damn it.
So much for one fluid take.
Till the next video, my name's Colleen Sheehan from Ferraris Online.